right, I want to start off this video by apologizing to someone I consider to be a very good friend and someone I respect a lot. Milo, I'm stealing your idea and I'm stealing your thing for this video. I'm so sorry, but we're doing a whiteboard video, baby. I don't expect this to be like a normal thing on the channel, and I would never do that. But I got home pretty late. I had a reaction run way over, unfortunately, on top of a meeting running over. It was quite frustrating, and I just want to rant, and this is the easiest way for me to do that without having to create custom graphics, because you know, I don't work with an editor or anything. So we're just gonna do this. Sorry, Milo, if you're mad, I'll gift you a couple subs or something, or take you out to dinner, buy you a drink. We'll be good, okay? Imitation's the greatest form of flattery and all that. I want to talk about a couple problems and controversial topics that have been plaguing the Destiny community, right? Including the skarrow's a shill allegation, okay? These are things that, honestly, I probably should have made a video like this earlier, but things have gotten to a point in the community where it's just like, screw it, let's just freaking chat, right? Like, I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this, but no one's watching Destiny content right now anyways. I'm gonna take my phone out of my pocket because I'm getting all sweaty. So let's talk. Okay, things in the Destiny community have been like not great, and there's a couple of events that have led me to want to talk about stuff like this. First off, Bife released an absolutely baller like 90-minute video yesterday or 2 days ago, talking about kind of the state of community and how that's changed with Bungie and with Destiny 2 over time, and Destiny over time, really. And I thought that was an awesome video, and it really got me in my feels a little bit about the kind of golden age of Bungie and Destiny, and I want to talk about things a little bit. The second was another one of my really good friends, and another person I have immense respect for, Dado, effectively being like bullied off of social media for a couple of months. And I know a lot of you guys aren't those people, but fuck those people. Like, honestly, there is a growing coalition of people that are targeting creators, and specifically creators that are still passionate about the game in some way. Not saying that we don't have problems with the game, because we do, and we'll talk about some of those in this video, and we've talked about some of those in other videos. But it's just not okay to target creators and harass them, and I've been very open that over the past year, since I've been involved on a more professional level with Bungie, and you know, getting to play Marathon early and being in some of that marketing material and stuff, like I have gotten so much harassment. You guys have no idea. My parents have been called more names in the past year than I called them throughout my entire like teenage years, which is impressive because I did not like a lot of my parents. I've got mom and dad and step parents as well. I did not like a lot of them growing up, okay? So the fact that you guys have outpaced me, very impressive, my friends. We're gonna talk about stuff. Even though I have been very, very open about a small percent of the community that is very hateful and vitriolic and loud and mean, they're meanie pants. You know, they've just been like awful to a lot of me and a lot of my friends, me and a lot of my friends. I do want to be incredibly clear here. The community is not the problem. Sorry, this is... Wow. Piece of shit, dude. Let's try this one. This one, it's glistening. This one's gonna work. Oh! Oh! The community is not the problem, okay? In fact, quite the opposite. The community is awesome. You're gonna learn another thing about me today. I have awful handwriting. I do have a PhD. I have doctor handwriting. I don't have an MD, but you know, I think I'm allowed to adopt the stereotype as well. The community is awesome. The community is what makes Destiny special, and has made Destiny special over the 10 years that I've done it. And contrary to popular belief, I actually don't do this for money. And we'll talk about skarrow equals $Hill later, okay? We'll talk about my shilling. We'll talk about everything I think I'm allowed to talk about, we'll talk about, okay? I do this, and I started this a decade ago as a creative outlet. In my defense, I attribute two things to my success through grad school and really getting me through grad school. One, of course, my amazing, beautiful wife, Victoria. She was both my emotional and financial pillar during grad school because if you don't know, grad students get paid nothing. I made like $23,000 a year. I don't know how you're supposed to live off of that. Luckily, I had a sugar mama. And she carried me. She absolutely carried me. And she dealt with my late nights and my weekends in the lab and my rants and my breakdowns. And she was awesome. This also carried me. Having a creative outlet, being able to solve puzzles with my friends and get excited about this universe with you guys and make music when I wanted to and make guides and speculate and everything, get lost in it. It helped me forget about how awful my day job was. And I write about that. I think in the forward for my dissertation, where I thank everything, I thank my family and friends and all that dumb stuff. And I thank Victoria and I thank the mother chickens. And that meant a lot to me. I even though you will never read that dissertation because I don't want to dox myself, it meant a lot for you all to get credit. And for the channel to get credit in that. So that was really important to me. The community is not the problem. The community is what makes Destiny amazing, and Destiny is easily its best when the community is working together and all enjoying the game, and that doesn't mean enjoying it blindly. There's always been problems with Destiny, and it's great to give that feedback in a respectful way that can be addressed, right? But the community is what makes this amazing. And some of my favorite times in Destiny, Niobe Labs, Corridors of Time, which I have tattooed right here because it's so special to me. Final Shape, Chestiny, the Marathon ARGs, like when the community was like working together and there was no divide between creators and community and even Bungie at some part, right? Or casuals and elites, and there's none of that. It's just like everyone having a good time. Those were the truly special moments of Destiny, and I really hope we can get back there again. I don't know. I don't know what the future of Destiny looks like. I don't know if there is a future of Destiny. I have literally no idea. But that's what I will treasure for the rest of my life. That's what I attribute being able to get through grad school with, or because of. And that's something that I'm very grateful to have been a part of that for 10 years. On the flip side of that, creators are not the problem, okay? Now, creators don't have all the answers. But there's this growing narrative that there's a select group of super shill creators that always get invited to Bungie in these summits, and that's just like objectively false. I have been very, very privileged and lucky and fortunate to be invited to Bungie in person 3 times, all in the last year, since last October, twice for Marathon, once for Destiny, and we'll talk about Marathon, don't you worry. Billy Bob Thornton 12987777 on Twitter. We're gonna talk about Marathon, baby. Twice for Marathon, once for Destiny. I've been invited to a handful of summits, mostly Destiny, and maybe one Marathon. I do want to preface all of this, right? Full disclosure, I have signed no fewer than 12 to 15 NDAs with Bungie over the last year. I really don't know what I'm allowed to say. So if I disappear randomly and are sued into oblivion, that's why. I'm not going to say anything crazy or anything, but I do want to be fully transparent. I know a lot of things about Destiny, and I know a lot of things about Marathon that that is privileged information and that I cannot talk about. I'm going to try to be as open as possible about my business relationship with Bungie, okay? And I just wanted to acknowledge that. Now, I've been to a lot of these summits. Sorry, that was a wild tangent. I've been to a lot of these summits. I've been to Bungie multiple times, and I can tell you, dude, no one will ever freaking believe this, but they don't just invite yes men And now I know there are creators that have been invited to a summit or two, friends of mine that have been invited to a summit or two, and maybe they've had bad experiences, and maybe they use different rhetoric to describe Bungie and Bungie employees, and maybe that gets them in trouble. Okay, I try to be a little bit more respectful because the devs are not executives. So I think that's something I want to talk about in this section. Nuance is necessary, but I try to be respectful and professional with people that are just doing their normal ass job, bro. Now, in my experience with summits and visiting Bungie, the ones that actually get invited back the most are the ones that are not afraid to speak up and are clearly knowledgeable and passionate about the game. Okay, I've probably seen 30 to 50 creators across Marathon and Bungie total. Some invited back when I am, some not. Maybe, I'm sure some will get invited back in the future. I don't know. But I can always tell you, it is the most vocal, the people that are not afraid. Like, if you just go to a summit and you're just like, you don't really say anything, there's not a lot of value in you being there, right? Like, they want your feedback. And I can tell you, especially with the Marathon summits, dude, they want brutal feedback. You have heard the leaks about how much that game has changed over the last 3 years. I have only been involved with the game for the last year. In that time, it has changed an immense amount, for sure, between the first time I was involved in the public alpha. And a lot of that is based off of creator feedback. Now, I do want to make one thing absolutely clear, okay? Just because you do not hear a conversation does not mean it did not happen, okay? And I want to give a couple of very clear examples of this. So, in my first review for Marathon, in the first video I publicly put out about Marathon after it was revealed, I talk about a lot of things I like with the game, and things I'm excited about with the game, or was excited for about the game. And then I talk about a lot of problems that the game had, and I couldn't expand too much because I knew my feedback had been heard, and I wasn't sure what I was allowed to say and what was going to be done about it. But every point, if you go back and watch that video, I mentioned like 4 or 5 things, and it's like lack of enemy diversity, no prox chat, no solo modes, they're not talking about the secrets, a limited number of runners, etc., etc. All of the major problems that the community had that caused the backlash. Minus, like, I obviously didn't know that there were some stolen assets or whatever. I didn't know that. But all of the major issues I could have seen and identified, I did. And not only did I do it in that video, I did it a month before that when I was at Bungie. And all of the creators I was there with also addressed it. And we had like very, very fierce arguments with Bungie about specifically prox chat. Got pretty heated where I think it was supposed to be like an hour and a half long session. I swear turned into exclusively like only about prox chat. And it was like 10 to 15 creators. Anytime Bungie tried to move on, they were like, no, we need to address this. We need to address this. I can't really talk about too much else other than that, but just know when creators are invited to these things, we want the game to succeed. We want you to like the game, because when you like the game, that's when we like the game. That's when content is fun to make, and that's when the community is buzzing. And that's what makes games like Destiny and hopefully Marathon, if whatever happens. Hopefully we can return to that in some semblance with Destiny in the future too. Now with Destiny feedback, I was invited to a summit late last year or early this year. It's been a very fast year, about the portal, about new stats, about the tier 5 armor and weapon system, and about light leveling. And I gave, and other friends of mine that are creators that were there also gave very harsh feedback. Now, I'm not going to name any other creators that were there. A lot of creators don't say when they get invited to summits because they get bullied relentlessly when they are invited to summits. So I don't want to be the one to be the reason that happens to them. Now, about those 4 topics, Me and some of the creators that you hate on the most were all there, and we all gave very aggressive feedback. And believe it or not, those systems were worse before Edge of Fate launched. Worse. You think the light grind was bad when Edge of Fate launched? You have no idea. You have literally no idea. And a lot of those changes, I can't say happened directly because of creator feedback, but we definitely gave very aggressive feedback against it. And then they were different when they launched. So, you know, however those pieces fell, they fell. But we were very adamant about certain things. When I was playing, this story's public, so I'll tell it. When I was doing the Edge of Fate pre-reveal footage, you know, I was recording, I was at Bungie. They asked us how we liked the solo ops. Robbie Stevens did. And Dado said, he was sitting like 2 chairs over from me. He said, verbatim, they're shit. Or something, maybe not verbatim, but something to that effect. Was like, this is the worst activity I've ever played in my life. Specifically talking about the salt mines one and how boring it was. That was definitely the general sentiment. While we were at Bungie, I gave the director feedback. That was me. I initiated that conversation because I was like, so what's going on with the director here? Why does it look different? When's Kepler going to be added to it? And then as soon as they were like, no, we're done with that, everyone was like, hold up a second. We're talking about that. A lot of these changes that have been very quickly made after Edge of Fate were things that we told them people were going to hate and that we did not like. And a lot of things that launched in Edge of Fate that were rough were even more rough before we gave our feedback. And that's as much in specifics that I think I can get into. Now I want to get into this. Oh, I guess, and to wrap that up. So creators are not the problem. We want the game to do well, and we might have disagreements about certain things. I think crafting should only be used to be a catch-up mechanic, to give you good baseline loot where you can complete everything, but it should never give you the best onslaught of anything, and to revitalize old things like raids. And so we might have disagreements about that. I don't think that crafting ever belongs in something like Desert Perpetual, like a brand new endgame activity. I think you should be incentivized to play it over and over and over again, and crafting doesn't do that. It provides a stopping point, and I think that is bad for new content. I think it's good for old content. Now, there might be things that we disagree on like that, but no, like the feedback that I give to Bungie and the feedback my friends and the creators that get constantly harassed give to Bungie, all of it is in the best interest of the community, or what we perceive to be the best interest, or what you guys want, because we are happiest when you are happy, and the game thrives when we're all happy. We all win together. There is no scenario where we tell Bungie to make changes to screw you over because it makes our content better. Like that's not how that works. That's not how that works. And that kind of gets down to not everything's a conspiracy theory. We'll dive into that a little later. But we want you to win because when you win, we win. And we, at the end of the day, we are community members. We just happen to have fun on the internet and post videos of us having fun or debating or calling each other idiots or whatever. You know what I mean? We all just want the game to be good. Skarrow equals shill. I'm going to be so... God, this frustrates me because the people that say this are groups of 2 people. It's either people that like just hate people that are passionate about anything or are having fun. Or it's people that have never like seen my content, or they're very ignorant of my positions on things. Pre-Edge of Fate, I made numerous videos in numerous tweets and was on many podcasts and on stream talked about things that I did not like. Okay, but because there were certain aspects of Edge of Fate I like Desert Perpetual, like the narrative, for some reason that means I'm a glug 9,000, bro. Bungie doesn't pay me, okay? And this is where I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not. When I fly out to Bungie, okay, I get a per diem. I get some amount of money, not a lot, per day, to eat. Okay, they pay for my hotel and my flight as well. The cost of me being like out there is thank goodness I have PTO, because if I had to take no PTO, time off without pay, I would be losing money to be out there. I do it because I enjoy seeing my content creator friends, and I have some friends at Bungie. I think it's fun. That's one of the reasons I started content creation 10 years ago, because I saw the zombies guys back in the day having fun and going out to Treyarch and talking to Jason Blundell and being parts of puzzles, and I always wanted to do that sort of thing. And now, 10 years later, I'm fortunate enough to be doing it, and doing it with one of my idols who was in that community, right? And that's magical. That is so magical to me, and I cannot thank you guys enough. But it's not like they don't pay me, dude. All of those, all the collector's editions, I buy those. All the collector's editions they send me, I give to you guys. I give them away. I spend my money. I spend my chemist money on that. Okay? And that's fine. I'm not complaining about that. If I did this for the money, I wouldn't be selling advanced flavors that went directly to charity. I wouldn't be the highest single, as far as I know, highest single amount raised for a single content creator like YouTube or Twitch channel for the Bungie Foundation, over $200,000, because you guys are insane. I wouldn't be asking you guys to do that. I would be begging for subs on Twitch, okay? When's the last time you've seen a Manscaped ad or a Raid Shadow Legends ad on one of my videos? Literally never, okay? What I will say, sometimes I do partnerships because they let me do cool things like charity incentives. So like right now, I have an advanced flavor that is co-branded for 2 weeks. You can pick it up down below. And if that does well, then I get to do more cool stuff like raise money for charity in the future. Because if I help out my partners, then they will help me do cool stuff in the future. That's the only time I do stuff. The only sponsored video I have ever made had 0 opinions in it. It was the 10 things you should know about the Marathon Alpha video. I gave 0 opinions because I told Bungie, I said, I will do this. I will not say anything about the game that isn't like an objective gameplay fact. And they agreed. When I get invited to summits, they send me like a DoorDash gift card, bro. Like, I'm not doing this for money. I just want to have fun. NetEase isn't paying me. Bungie isn't paying me. Gearbox isn't paying me, man. It's just like, I just want to have fun, okay? And yes, I tend to hype up exciting things that I enjoy more than like the average creator. But I'm like an excitable person. I've been doing this for 10 years. How is this not super obvious, bro? I'm just like I definitely tilt more towards positive because I don't enjoy being a miserable fuck for my entire life. I like having fun. So if we have a bad DLC and a bad state of the game with Ash and Iron in Destiny, then of course I'm gonna focus on the mind-blowing amazingness that is Epic Desert Perpetual instead of just being miserable because I like being happy. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to give negative feedback. I have always given negative feedback. I complained about the light system. I complained about the portal. I complained about all of that shit before you guys even knew what Edge of Fate was. I complained about all the marathon stuff before you even knew what it looked like. Okay? I have always given my negative feedback. I just happen to be a happy person. Sorry. I don't do this for money. Bungie only keeps inviting me out from their own words because I give so direct and concise and respectful feedback. And I'm pretty mean when I'm there, okay? And it's just something that really weighs on me because and there's nothing wrong. Sorry, I should have said this. There was nothing wrong with doing ads on YouTube videos. So, you know, this just isn't my livelihood. I don't need it, so I don't do it. I use my platform to raise money, to help people, and raise awareness for the marginalized and the underprivileged. And I try to do this as a thing and give back to everyone. And it really, really affects me when people question my character because I've tried so hard to always be genuine and it really, 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 as you can tell on Twitter when I crash out every 2 days, it really bothers me. It really does, and it shouldn't because most of them are 12-year-olds that have never watched one of my videos anyways. But it does bother me. It bothers me a lot, and I like the working relationship I have with Bungie. I have a lot of friends that are developers there. I have a lot of content creator friends that I'm always really excited to see and hang out with and you know, grab Din Tai Fung with, one of the best restaurants ever. And you know, crazy, like Dr. Lupo taught me how to use chopsticks at a Bungie event. Because I was born in the boonies, and I grew up with, let's say, culturally intolerant mother and stepfather. I never got to experience other cuisines until grad school, and I never really got to, I was, did I say the boonies? I was raised in the South, like the deep South, and I never learned how to use chopsticks, and so I went to a Bungie event, and I meet a lot of awesome people, and then, like, I learned how to use chopsticks, and it's like a whole thing. Now every time I go, they make fun of me, like, "Oh wait, you didn't know how to use chopsticks, right?" And it's like a thing, but it's fun. It's fun, you know. I get to create a lot of really cool memories, and some stuff I can't talk about. Hopefully one day, Milo and I got into some really fun adventures last time we were there, and I really hope one day we get to talk about it. But yeah, you know, I just want to have fun. I don't play Destiny for money. I don't make videos for money. You know, it's nice. It goes straight into the 401k or into the backdrop or whatever. But like, honestly, it's just, I just like to have fun. I just like to have fun. So that's the God's honest truth. If you don't believe me, fuck me, I guess. But yeah, sorry, this is a long video. I'll keep going. It's okay to be mad or sad or to have fun. There are parts of the community that don't want you to be mad at the game or mad at Bungie. You're allowed to be mad about the state of the game because a series of decisions led the game here. And I do want to, I'm going to go down here as well. We're going to combine these two. Nuance is necessary, right? When you're mad at Bungie, this isn't, like, please never take this out on, like, just a 9-to-5 dev who's just went to school for game development and is living their best life, and they're passionate about the game, and they're doing amazing things and really putting their all into the game, but they have to follow the directive of some executive, of some middle manager who has to follow the directive of some big manager who has to follow the directive of, you know, game director or like an exec team person, right? Like, I have so many friends at Bungie that are just like normal people doing their job that are really talented and amazing people. And they have to put up with a lot of bullshit because of this community. And I just, like, I will take I know it falls on deaf ears a lot of the time, but it's so important. Nuance is necessary. It is so necessary in these sorts of things. Remember who makes the decisions. And remember who makes the decisions, or who has made the decisions. It's okay to be sad about the state of the game. It's been going for over a decade. We've had a lot of great times, and to lose that, it sucks. I know I'm sad about the state of the game. And it's okay to have fun. Even when the game isn't doing its best, it's still okay to have fun. It's okay to enjoy things like Destiny. It's okay to enjoy Desert Perpetual when bad things in the game are happening. When Marathon comes out, hopefully it's great, because I still like a lot of things in that game, but I'm going to be having fun, because even though there might be parts of the game that I don't agree with or might not be perfect for me, I know there are parts of the game, the secrets, the Easter eggs, and, you know, the raid-like mechanics that I'm not going to get into. I know I adore that part of the game and the direction of that part of the game, and it's okay for me. It's okay to have fun and still not like every part of the game. Nuance is necessary, and if you don't have the ability to think critically about things and communicate effectively, you're not going to get very far in life. Not everything's a conspiracy theory, guys. You know, sometimes Bungie just makes bad decisions. Sometimes it is as simple as a greedy executive. Sometimes it's as simple as Bungie's half the size it used to be, and they're trying to put out a second game. And yeah, like, maybe that is less than ideal for the future of Destiny, and it is. And you know, it's not some grand conspiracy to oh, Bungie accidentally did this so they can launch, you know, fix it and get a bunch of brownie points, and oh, all the creators are out to get us, and Skarrow's only doing this because Bungie's paying them to run damage control or crowd control or whatever. Not everything's a conspiracy. Sometimes things just suck. Sometimes the people in charge just make the wrong decision. Sometimes the society that we're a part of encourages unsustainable, endless growth, and that leads to a lot of people losing a lot of jobs. That is just a fact, okay? Not everything is a conspiracy. Sometimes it's the Occam's razor approach. The simplest explanation is the best explanation. Is something that we say in STEM field a lot. This was a long video. Sorry about that. Pick up my advanced flavor so I get to do more cool charity collabs and stuff in the future. I don't know, man. This probably won't mean anything. I'll probably get called a bunch of stuff in the comments, but I want you to know, no matter what, it's been a true honor of mine to be able to do this over the last 10 or 11 years. I've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of experiences that I know are a privilege to have, and I hope that I get to continue being a part of these things in the future. To my friends at Bungie that, you know, are not responsible for the decisions that are made. You guys have done some amazing work recently, even though the community is bashing on Destiny as a whole. The real ones know that there's actually some good content in there, like Desert Perpetual. Everyone that was a part of Desert Perpetual or the epic version of that, you should be so unbelievably proud of yourselves. And I don't care what anyone else in the community says. Unbelievable experience. Anyone who's part of Chestiny or Quarters of Time or any of those things, Whisper, you should be proud of yourselves. You made some of the most memorable moments in my life and in a lot of people's life and in some of gaming history. Yeah, so that's where we are. Game kind of is in a sad state right now. Bungie's in a whatever state right now. I hope Destiny recovers. I hope Renegades is good. I hope Marathon is good. I know a lot of people just want to see things fail for whatever reason. I'm not really sure what the benefit is for seeing a game fail, but sure. Yeah, I don't know. Have a great day. Advanced flavor, link down below. 10% off. Love your faces.